We're rolling.
Welcome back to Thunderdome for another Zone Coverage Football Machine on the Zone Coverage Podcast Network. I'm your not so humble host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. And hi, have a big old pie of equity. More equity than former Vikings Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns made at WrestleMania. Battle of the Vikings practice squad.
Damn.
I'm excited.
Let's go.
Andre the Giant was a Redskins practice squad guy.
Was he?
I learned that at
That makes sense.
Is there a picture of that? Because I need to see
that would be amazing. The jersey itself has to be like 2 jerseys, basically, right? He's a 400-something pound guy.
Dude, I think it was 500.
Yeah.
You watched it last night. You tell me.
The doc. It was, and the footage from that WrestleMania, I'm not a wrestling guy.
Yeah.
Like, I literally kind of got into it.
You can't say that, otherwise people will get defensive.
Sorry, I like wrestling, and I watched it. The Ric Flair one was great. This one was not as good, but the cover or the footage of the old Pontiac Dome that I think they tried to employ, right, and it didn't work. Do you remember that? So, remember all the stadiums in Detroit went way out in the suburbs.
Right.
They had 93,000 people there, and it's the coolest. What's up? It's the coolest. Kind of event. I mean, just how big that event was, and how crazy big that dude was, Andre the Giant.
I'm pretty sure he was in the 5 bills, dude. No joke. You said 400. I think he was in the 5.
Oh, yeah,
I was a diehard.
Yeah.
Early 90s, kind of, Andy, I don't know about you, but when I was in first grade to 8th grade, diehard wrestling guy.
Yeah.
And that was Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Bam Bam Bigelow, Dink and Doink, Razor Ramon, 1 2 3 Kid, X-Pac, all these guys, dude.
Yeah.
And Andre the Giant was kind of on the way out. I think I don't know, passed away. Do
He
you
ended
remember
up
what
at
year?
46. It was in that.
Do you remember what year that was?
That's a good question.
91, 92, 93-ish?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite the time.
So
man.
I guess
Wrestling was so fun back in the day. When you were a kid.
So here's the thing: when they were making that movie, right? It's Bill Simmons, Sean Fennessy, who's kind of his right hand man.
Yeah.
They go in there with the producer, and offhandedly, I think it was Fennessy who said on Simmons' pod, he was like, "Well, I was into wrestling," kind of what you just said, right?
Sure.
In the heyday, and Vince McMahon stares him down, and he's like, "What do you mean the heyday?" I can't do a McMahon.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
he didn't take any steroids, did he? Have you seen the evolution of Vince McMahon? He didn't always look like that.
Really?
Oh, no.
He as weird as, because he's behind the XFL, right?
Yes.
As weird as that
Yes.
concept is,
Yes.
that dude is awesome. He just is
legit.
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He's legit.
Yeah.
He knows what
Sorry,
he's doing.
I got sidetracked.
Plus, his wife ran 6 unsuccessful congressional campaigns.
I did not know that.
Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Did you ever
Have
watch
you-
I was going to say The Princess Bride that has Andre the Giant in it.
That's an all-time classic.
Anybody want a peanut?
What was I going to say? Have you seen the Trump documentary on Netflix?
No.
It's a four-part thing. Whether you like him or hate him, it's pretty intriguing. It kept me entertained.
Yeah.
But there's a huge wrestling part in there because they get into the Jesse Body Ventura.
Which is amazing.
And how he was the big underdog here in Minnesota, and then he ended up winning, and then Trump
that's that's fair.
Trump hit him up because he was at WrestleMania when Jesse was at it, like WrestleMania 3.
Sure.
And he basically just wanted to know how to just copy and paste what he did. Like, how did you win this election?
Yeah.
You were a nobody, and because that was before he started thinking about running for.
That's because everyone here in Minnesota just wanted that T-shirt. My governor can beat up your governor.
I remember my teacher saying this, and it's so weird that I remember this, but maybe freshman year, maybe 8th grade, him being like, "There's some redneck who has 20 of those stickers and a Confederate flag on their truck. You stay the F away from that guy." And I remember just dying because it's St. Thomas. People just said what they wanted to. There was no anything went. But I thought that was funny.
Yeah, well, we could talk about teachers and professors impressing political values on students, but we could talk about something that's more exciting. Tom, the draft guide, also membership at zonecoverage.com.
Yeah, $23.99 for a full year. You do get the draft guide. Yeah, draft guide. The
giving
t-shirt,
it away, man.
Buffalo Wild Wings card, and My Burger. So a lot of different offers. We'll try to add more as time goes on. But I think for football fans looking at this draft guide, that listen, we assume Arif's not here because he's working on it. Sam's been working on it. Luke's been working on it. Looking at film, looking at analytics, comparables, all that. I think it's going to be spectacular. And
oh, yeah, we should mention Arif's not here instead of just ignoring us like he usually does in his DMs.
Yeah, and I mean, Yinka
completely possible.
Yes, and Yinka supposedly is going to be here.
This is on brand for Yinka.
Yeah.
Actually, in fact, even when Yinka's on time, we start early just so it's on brand.
And sometimes we will say this. Obviously, listeners don't know this, but if you come out to Blue Door after with us, he is often there, just kind of hanging out. So he's great.
It's because he works there.
No.
Nah. Be later. So follow Zone Coverage on Twitter at Zone Coverage M, and subscribe, rate, review on the iTunes as well. And also, Luke, I want you to hype up this draft guide, because
this draft guide, dude,
not only is it the best time of the year, it's the best people of the year.
Well, we were really lucky to get, obviously, everybody knows Arif's background and how good he is at what he does with the analytics side. He's got some unbelievable spider charts, I call them. If you ever played Madden back in the day, 08, 09, 2010, like that random Peyton Hillis year, do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Dude, they had, when you'd go do franchise mode, you do the draft, and you'd look at the prospects, they had a spider chart. And that's basically what Arif did with a lot of these prospects that we broke down. I'm doing all the videos, so giving you some highlights, one good thing, one bad thing, kind of a projection where these guys are going to go. But it's really coming together, and anybody listening out there, if you're intrigued at all, hit us up, and we'll make sure you are a part of that. And, of course, all the goodies that going to come along with being a member of the Zone Coverage team. There's some fun stuff that we haven't even talked about yet for a very low price. I didn't realize it was that cheap, man. Very low price.
$23.99. We will have additional content as the season goes along. And if you're into other sports, we will have some basketball stuff. We'll have some baseball. Twins underway. They've already taken a series from the defending champs. I don't know how much that means.
No
but
big deal.
Wolves, as we are recording right now, are playing a do or die against the Denver Nuggets. But if they're going to the playoffs, we'll have extensive playoff coverage. And then, of course, obviously the premier Vikings coverage you get here.
I like how you throw that in all, like, it's like a necessary evil.
Well, I mean, people should know if you're
stupid
on
football jabronis.
No, I love football. I love watching the Vikes. I'm just saying you would make the assumption, obviously, that there'd be great football content here. Based on
before we get started, like, why is it that the Vikings are? Like, Vikings are always number one, and like even in the off-season talk will dominate. I mean, you got a hockey team in the playoffs, you got a basketball team that's in a winning in, and still like most interest, most clicks. I'm sure if you could find out all the sports sites, they probably all see. Mock draft 75.9.
Well, I think it goes back. Sorry to interrupt. I think it goes back all the way to the '60s when we weren't even around, and I think it was just instilled in us. Born in Minnesota, my uncles were diehard. They were the Viking game was always on, and always be doing that growing up before you even think about it. So, I mean, going to 4 Super Bowls, they lost them all, but they were damn good there for a while, and I think that made it fun for our father's generation.
On that point, so 61. I think the North Stars came in around that time. Obviously, left for Dallas in the 90s. You have, the Twins, I think, in 65 went to the World Series, lost, but you have to go all the way until 87 until they were back. And the Twins just go through those lulls that I think really hurt their brand. Right now, they're an exciting team.
No, not lulls. LOLs.
Yeah, LOLs. No, I mean, just pathetically bad. And now, with Mahler at the helm, this is looking like an 88, maybe 87 win team competing for a wild card spot. Probably not as good as the Cleveland Indians, but a team that's on the rise. Buxton Young, exciting player. Sano, Rosario, those guys. Barrios, if you ever see his curveball, incredible. But I think the Vikes are always consistently good. Obviously, it's football. For us, we know that football and Wolves, NBA, performs well online. I do know from talking to some people at FSN, and maybe this would surprise some people, it goes, so, Vikings obviously are on Channel 9, but so we're not talking about them, but it goes Twins, Wolves, Wild, definitively. So Wild, diehard, passionate fan base. You go to St. Paul, you're going to see it all over. But the Wolves right now have captured people's imagination, even with crazy Tibbs and kind of the goofiness going around with the team. It's very talented.
He's Gru from Despicable Me. I want to steal the moon.
He is.
And play Jimmy Butler 49 minutes a game. It's only 48. Whatever.
Did you, I was sharing this with a friend who was saying, Tibbs might literally only play the starters tonight.
That is insane.
He will not. But Cy Amundsen, local stand-up guy who's now on ESPN.
Our dude?
Yeah, our dude.
He's now what?
He's on ESPN Snapchat with Katie Nolan. Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
the guy we saw at Acme Comedy Club?
Yeah. So you were, I don't think you were there, Andy. Were you?
Oh, he was hilarious.
Yeah, so he's a local guy. Acme is kind of his home base. Grew up in Orono, I believe, and I do his show every once in a while. Got to know him a little bit. He ran a fake billboard basically on the show that says Tibbs calls dibs on playing LeBron 48 minutes as a campaign to get LeBron to get in town. I mean, in some ways I have fun with this. Tibbs is a normal guy when you talk to him when he's not coaching the team, as in when he's at practice or whatever. A very smart basketball mind. crazy guy who looks up to Belichick, and when you think about that, how he loves, there are NBA coaches he admires, of course, but the fact that he's a diehard football guy. If you think about it, and you guys obviously view sports mainly through the football prism, right? He does seem like a football coach on the hard court, and has a very different mentality than the Steve Kerrs of the world, or even Quinn Snyder, Terry Stotts, some of these really high-powered coaches in the West. He's kind of a grumbly old man at times, kind of like Belichick. And as a guy who grew up a Patriots fan, it makes a lot of sense.
Him and Zimmer would get along swimmingly. They'll just sit in silence.
$5. Get out of here.
Yeah. All right. Hopping into some Vikings news.
Yeah,
Vikings signed wide receiver Tavares King, formerly of the Giants.
As a body.
Yeah.
Think he'll make
He's also a person. I like how every wide receiver transaction is an indictment on Treadwell. It's like, they brought in Kendall Wright. They're giving him $400,000 guaranteed. Treadwell gone.
You gone, dude.
I will say that it will give Treadwell cause for pause if they draft a wide receiver in the top 100 picks, though.
For sure.
We were talking about, do you think, obviously for guys reading our guide who listen to the show, we know the callers here know a lot of these players, but do you think this draft is going to be more getting bodies in the door? Like, it just seems like they might just load up, create some depth and competition.
No, that's a great cover. Get the bodies in the door.
I don't know what way they're going to go, because here's the devil's advocate to that, Tom. Yeah, you're thinking, oh my God, we got Kendricks a free agent, Barr's a free agent, Hunter, Diggs. We better get some backup plans going. But the other thing to that is they clearly feel like they are right there to win a Super Bowl right now. So as much as, and we're going to get into it, maybe they think everybody thinks they're going to trade back. I think they might, and they're not going to trade up, but I think they're going to be aggressive and going to get guys that can play now and help them win right now. Because I think they are really close. And clearly, if you go sign Kirk Cousins like that, you think you're really close right now. Yeah. So, two ways to think about it. Do they load up and plan for the future in case they lose a couple of those big names? Or do they just continue to push their chips all in like the Rams? I don't know how tabs you've kept with the Rams this offseason. They pushed all their chips.
No, and a friend of mine was texting me mostly probably about fantasy advice, but we were talking about the Rams, and I was saying, first of all, I think you have to do that if you're an alley, right? Create some sort of interest in the team. But also, he was like, I just don't see this many transactions. Asking you guys, do you feel like it's because it's trades? Like, it seems like in the NFL, it's hard to execute trades with that salary cap and just NFL contracts.
What's the question? Why doesn't it happen a lot?
Well, it just seems like transactions in the NFL are more signings because there's just free agents and less money guaranteed and all that.
I'll tell you what.
Trades.
It used to be that way, and Andy, tell me if you agree on this, until about 2 years ago. Then we've started to see a lot more trades of like these random dude, like
Shady for Kiko Alonso.
Thank you.
That's like
we never saw those 10 years ago, ever. Now we're starting to see them a lot more. I think teams are willing to be a little bit more aggressive as times goes on. They realize how hard it is to hit on a 4th, 5th, 6th round pick.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I trade that for a proven guy who's maybe been a little injured or whatever, but I know he's already proven that he can play in the NFL.
Seeing what the Rams are doing, taking all their picks from this year. Like, I think their first pick is a 3rd rounder, but they basically shipped it all up because they're clearly all in on the season, and they traded for proven NFL commodities as opposed to, we take this guy, maybe he works out in 3 years, maybe he doesn't.
Maybe he doesn't. Exactly. A lot more risk.
And I know, like, every time a team does something weird, it's like, oh, it's a copycat league. This is what's going to happen. It's like, if this crashes and burns, no, teams aren't going to do this. But if they succeed doing it, well, maybe.
Well, the Eagles, they did it, and they won a Super Bowl. They were trading for Jay Ajayi for a 5th round pick. You know what I mean? So, like, it's copycat league. Look at the Rams now. Everybody's going to try to copy what the Eagles did because it worked.
I just remember when Randy Moss was traded twice, right? He ended up going
from us to Oakland for the Troy Williamson pick.
No, I'm saying in 1 year, though. Didn't he go to, like, Tennessee and that, like, us?
No, well, the Vikings traded a 3rd round pick to New England for him, and then he was cut, and then he signed with Tennessee.
Okay. I just remember in other leagues, players do get traded once or twice pretty routinely. It doesn't seim as likely. We're talking more off-season trades, but I don't know.
I think this, basketball is basketball. I don't really need to know a playbook.
Right.
I can't get traded twice and expect to even contribute.
Wasn't the story of the Favre to Moss? He didn't even really know where to throw it to him. He just was kind of like he just winged it. And it worked.
It's like, eat it, Antonio Cromartie. Eat it.
So good.
where does late draft steam come from? Because starting to see it now with Mason Rudolph and also Hayden Hurst. 29,000-year-old Hayden Hurst. Like, we give Calvin Ridley crap for being old.
Yeah,
but
former baseball dude.
Yeah.
Reminds me of
Whedon.
What was it? Casey, the kid from Rice. He went to the Texans tight end, James Casey.
Yeah.
I don't know where. I think it's a lot of media based, and I think sometimes though, I think half these teams they already know who their board is not moving right now. They've done so much homework.
Those guys get arrested.
Yeah, right. I mean, very rarely are they going to move. There's about 5 or 6 or 7 other teams though, like the Browns, who don't even know until up to the last second. Are we going to take Johnny or are we going to take somebody else? That's not really a good way to approach.
Do you
the
not want
draft.
to copy the Browns?
Right. Well, I mean, seriously, dude. Like, what are you guys doing? But I think the other thing is, and this is what I would do if I was in the top 5. I'm planning and leaking false rumors to set me up. I mean, Rick plays that card very well. It's just he's not in the top 5 very often, in the top 10. But I mean, he leaks a bunch of fake rumors, or he would, to create perceived value that isn't there for some guy, and then teams trade up. And I mean, it only can help you with leverage and things like that.
Yeah, now it's misinformation season. Like, agents clearly want their clients to get the best possible draft position, because that affects their money as well. And so now, like, you're seeing all this random wonky stuff get leaked to the insiders, and also like the secondary and tertiary insiders, and then it becomes news. It gets blown up in the echo chamber. It's all noise. I mean, like, what's the latest one with the Giants now? Is like they're 100% in on Bradley Chubb.
Yeah,
or they're not taking a quarterback.
I mean, I mentioned that Gettleman loves D. Lyman. He drafts D. Lyman every year in the first round. Star Latulier, Vernon Day. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Well,
but
was he there for Peppers back in the day, or was he still with the Giants?
I don't know. I'd have to look. That's a good question, though. Yeah. But he's more than willing to stop. I mean, he values D. Lyman so much. Chubb can play inside or outside, too. So I mentioned that maybe a month ago. To see it now doesn't surprise me, but, like you said, Andy, how concrete is something like that? Like Chubb or bust? You know what I mean? Like Chubb or trade down? I don't know.
Or Rosen's not getting past the Jets at 3. It's like, maybe not. No.
Right. I don't know. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but like the Mason Rudolph stuff, it's enough where the Vikings sitting at 30. I feel like it's almost a lock that the Vikings aren't going to pick there. If we could find a really shady sports book that doesn't pay out but gives great odds, just say we could win. If we could bet Mason Rudolph drafted at 30 with a team that trades up,
I like that,
with the Vikings to get that 5th-year option, I would take that bet.
If he makes it past the New Orleans, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville run at 27, 28, 29, it has to be at 30, right? 30.
They're all taking tight ends.
I wonder who makes the most sense to trade up. Obviously, we don't know what quarterbacks went to what teams in the top 6 in the first place, but, is it I'm looking here. Is it Denver that wants to trade up? Who's got ammo, though, right? New England?
Or, I was thinking if the Giants actually do stick at 2 and then take Nelson or Minka or Chubb, and then they still want that quarterback. Yeah.
But they drafted Davis Webb, though, last year, too, from Cal. So I feel like they already got that 3rd-round kind of guy.
Different regime, though.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I think people love running scenarios. I like playing around with the stuff, too. And someone threw at me, like, so the Vikings at 30, and then the Colts offer 36 and 37 to move on up. And it's like, who would the Colts want that they can't get at 30, or they can't get at 36, but they could get at 30? It's like, I don't know.
Takes
2 to tango.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, we always talk about, this team's going to – everybody's going to trade down. Well, you have to have a partner to trade up with, dude. It's not like you can just hit triangle on Madden and these trades pop up for you. That doesn't work. And especially when you're
Everyone
on the
should trade
clock.
down.
Yeah, especially when you're on the clock and you only have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's tough to do some trades. You remember the Vikes got screwed that one year because Ravens had something on the table and then they pulled it out. It's tough to get a deal done in that 10-minute. But going back to, somebody wanting to trade up to 30, like the Giants maybe trade back up to 30.
Yep.
If that's your game plan, I hate that, because if that's your game plan, why don't you just get a legitimate quarterback with the 2nd pick then? If you're going to take a quarterback, take the right one. Don't just take a quarterback. You have a 2nd pick, go grab Josh Rosen or go grab Baker, whoever you want. But to grab one, to grab a Nelson or somebody and then go get a guy like Mason Rudolph, there's just such a big drop-off. It's too important a position.
I do feel a little... I don't feel like any of these quarterbacks are like knockout, home run, franchise, lock it up.
Here's
Go
how
get
I'm
your
looking
guy.
at it.
It's a write-off.
Write it off. You can write that off. There's 5 big-name quarterbacks. We all know them.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield. In 5 years, all 5 of them could be starting and thriving in the league, or all 5 of them could be
What are the odds?
struggling to. I swear to God, like there's not one clear-cut guy. That's hands down better than the rest. Some guys have much bigger ceilings but much lower floors, like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Some are a little bit cleaner, but any one of even the cleanest to me is Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen could be, struggling in 3-4 years and not make it.
You think 3 of those guys make it? Do you think 2? Do you think all of them?
I would say, and I hate to use this cliche, but it's true. It truly depends on where they end up and
Makes
if they
sense.
have to start year one.
Yeah.
I don't like quarterbacks starting year one.
I think 1 will be good, 2 will be a serviceable NFL starters, and the other 2 will be either busts or backups.
Do you think, like in Lamar Jackson's case, he could still be in the league just playing another position?
No.
Open the can of worms.
Never.
No. All right.
No, it could be. Terrell Pryor did that.
He'd
yeah.
rather sell
For sure.
insurance than play wide receiver.
I mean, I don't know. Even just like the NFL seems open to these kind of quote unquote athletes, right? Like,
No, they could. I mean, in 3 years, if Lamar plays quarterback for 3 years
Yeah.
and it doesn't pan, he'll know in his head, like, all right, I should probably move to receiver, dude, because
Yeah.
I can play 8 years at receiver. Clearly, I'm not that good of a quarterback.
Yeah.
But I like him at quarterback first and foremost. You got to try it first because he's that good.
Yeah, it's not really working out for Braxton Miller. He kind of stinks.
Braxton, man.
Yeah.
I had a lot of hope for him.
Yeah.
I had a great walk and talk interview with him once. I was like, please be good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that was an exclusive Senior Bowl. Luke Inman exclusive.
He went and got his guy.
Go get your guys,
Yeah.
man.
Walk with your guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting your guys, so 22 prospects have been invited to attend the draft. Luke, I'm going to run through them,
Yep.
and then you tell me, good move, or otherwise, hey, he may be sitting.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so Jair Alexander, quarterback Louisville.
He might end up being the first cornerback taken. Minka, I'm calling as a safety. Some people are saying he might get drafted over Denzel Ward. So, I mean, he could go to the Bucs at 7. He's for sure going to go in that top 12-ish.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, as much as I wouldn't touch him even on day one, he's going to go in the top 5, top 6 picks. He's just got that big of a ceiling. Saquon could be he could be the number 1 pick. So, of course,
What's his floor?
Draft-wise?
Yeah.
I would say there's no way he'll get past the Bucs at 7, but I think, honestly, at the end of the day, I won't be shocked if he goes top 3 because I think he's that good.
Taven Bryan from Florida.
Taven Bryan, that's a wild card one. Like, I like Taven Bryan. He reminds me a little bit of Shreve Floyd's, the way he gets off the ball, but oh my gosh.
You could say Chris Hoven.
Dude, yeah, like he's not going to go in the top 15 picks. Or it's like you mentioned to me, it's like maybe they know something about some of these names that we'll get to because some of them are head scratchers.
Bradley Chubb.
Duh.
Darnold. Marcus Davenport.
I don't know, man.
UTSA.
And, like
Roadrunners.
Bucky Brooks on NFL Network tries to push him in the Bucs at number 7 in the top 10. I think he's a solid late round 1 guy, late. To like a Bill Belichick and the Patriots turn him into like a Chandler Jones, but that dude might be sitting there a while. He's going to go in round 1, but man, I don't know where.
Tremaine Edmonds, Virginia Tech linebacker.
Should go top 15.
Yep. Ooh, Rashawn Evans, linebacker, Alabama.
Again, I like him. He was our 3rd running back on our consensus positional rankings. Arif and I did.
Linebacker.
But, Rashawn Evans.
Yeah.
But, boy, is he going to go in the top 15, top 20? Probably not. I could see him late round 1 to a Steelers type of team. That's a risky one, though. Could fall out of the first round.
Now, if you're invited to the draft, you don't go day 1. Do you
go
Geno Smith it and just say deuces, I'm out of here? Or do you put on the brave face, get back in that green room? You got plenty of elbow room now.
Yep.
All those hors d'oeuvres, all the appetizers are going to be yours at least.
No, you're committed now.
Yeah.
You got a backup suit, I hope. A day 2 suit, hopefully. You don't have to show up in the same thing again. But, no, you got that out.
Minka.
Minka, stud.
Yep. Shaquem Griffin.
Here we go. This is by far the biggest wild card because he's not going to go in the first round.
Yeah.
So it's cool to. I mean, they're gonna, and ESPN and NFL Network are gonna really run this one. They're gonna run that one dry. They're gonna show him every chance they get in the green room and tell his story, which is a phenomenal story. But I can see him going round 1, so it'll be interesting to see where he ends up going. But again, maybe they know something that we don't know.
Tom Yinka's in the back.
Is he? Oh,
Yeah.
go get him.
Yeah. Go get your Yinka. GGYY. Darius Geis.
Love Geis. Don't think the gap from Geis to Barkley is as big as some people think it is.
Yeah.
But saying that, Yeah, he'll go round 1. He will. To like a Seattle, 18-ish, Lions at 20-ish. But you never know with running backs, man.
Yeah. Josh Jackson, Iowa.
I love Josh Jackson. Some people got him falling to the Vikes, and I would pull that in a heartbeat. But the cornerback class is so loaded. I say that every time we bring it up. Isaiah Oliver, Colorado, Jair, Denzel Ward, Minka, Derwin James. Somebody's going to get pushed down. Maybe it's Mike Hughes from UCF. Somebody's going to get pushed down. Could be Josh Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Dude, I think there's no way he doesn't go in the top 12, top 15 picks.
I think it's almost a lock. There will be 5 quarterbacks in the top 16, top half.
There could be 4 in the top 5 picks.
Yeah.
Like realistically, and like Barkley will be the other one, non-quarterback. But think about that.
It's possible.
Did that ever happen?
Well, in 1983, there were 6 quarterbacks.
In round 1.
Yeah, that was the Elway to Marino one.
When was the last pick? Was it like, did it happen the first 15 picks, or was it like 30?
The last one was Marino. He was at the back end.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I don't think we've ever had 4 go in the top 5, though, so this would be nuts.
Next, Derwin.
Love Derwin. Yep. People say Derwin could, I said Jair Alexander could leapfrog Denzel Ward. People are saying Derwin could leapfrog Minka. I don't see that, but I'm a huge Derwin guy, as you know.
Colton Miller.
That one surprises me a little bit because
tackle from UCLA.
Connor Williams, Orlando Brown, Mike McGlinchey, they're the top 3 for me. Colton Miller, ultra athletic. Mm-hmm. Man, is he a first-round guy, though? Tell you what, the tackle class is thin. Here's my case for him. The tackle class is very thin. After those big 3 I mentioned, drops off quick. If you're sitting there in the 20s to 30, somewhere in there, and you need a tackle, you might have to reach on a Colton Miller. I don't know if... I would not put my money on Colton Miller going the first 30 picks, dude.
Sorry to divert, but the 1983 draft.
Okay, you pull it up.
The famous Elway to Marino one.
Yep.
Elway goes 1 to the Colts.
Okay.
Eventually gets flipped to Denver.
Okay.
7 Chiefs. Todd Blackledge.
Oh, my God. 7. So it was 1 all the way to 7.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure that was the last time that they used a first-round pick on a quarterback, the Chiefs, before Mahomes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No way. That long?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Todd Blackledge, who's great on the College Football Analyst. And also great, Yinka.
Yo, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Sound a little quiet.
Good to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Mine was off, but yours should be on here.
Okay. All good.
I can turn
Welcome.
it
I'm here, y'all.
Where was Elvis Gerbeck? What was that guy?
Elvis Gerbeck.
Where was he drafted? Do we know?
Okay, just rip him out. Finish
That's a
the
good
rest.
question. 14. Perhaps you've heard of him. Buffalo Bills. Jim Kelly.
Jimmy K.
Yeah. Then he's
So
like
3 in the top 14.
Yep. And then he's like, no, I'm going to go play for the Houston Gamblers where our paychecks bounce, but I don't care. I'm going to throw for 5,000 yards.
And then he broke every record.
15 Patriots. Tony Eason.
So went back to back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. 14, 15.
That's
Okay.
back when the Patriots.
That's 4.
Good times.
Yep.
24 Jets. Ken O'Brien, who was decent.
Ken O'Brien was not
He was
bad.
decent. Yeah. But not as decent as 27 Dan Marino.
So from 1 to 27, 6 went.
Yeah.
Right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's back when there was only 28 teams.
This could be, again, 4 could go in the top 5, which would blow every record out of the books because that's just where we're at. That's just what kind of draft class this is.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Of course, 19, the Vikings, the revisionist history is like, why didn't they take Marino? Well, he had Tommy Kramer, and he took Joey frickin' Browner.
Yeah, amazing pick.
You're fine.
It was one of the rare parts where they bring up the Vikings and you don't get embarrassed in a random doc that's not about the Vikings or Minnesota.
That's so funny.
And you're like, oh, God, who did we take, dude? And you're like, Browner. Oh, my God.
This would never happen, but think about it. If the Browns took 2 quarterbacks back-to-back, I mean, they would kind of monopolize.
Just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and they would have their 2 best choices at probably at quarterback and whatnot. And
Wow,
obviously the guy that you don't like, you could still trade away from some.
Wild.
That would be some draft day Sonny Weaver stuff.
Yeah.
I watched that movie again, by the way.
We should have
Every
that
single
on
year.
loop in here. Oh, yeah.
You were tweeting images from it, right? GIFs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Although the dialogue is dumbed down for a wider audience. Like,
It's a Hollywood version of what we
It's like,
nerds get into.
Why are they talking about the salary cap implications when there's the rookie wage scale? It doesn't really matter. It's already baked into the cake.
I could see you yelling that at the screen when you're in the audience.
Also, the GM, Sonny Weaver, portrayed by the immortal Kevin Costner, he gets his capologist pregnant. Like, no big deal.
Why not?
Like, whatever.
Brzezinski is. Do we need to talk?
Spielman gets Brzezinski pregnant? Arnold Schwarzenegger Jr. You saw it.
That's like Thomas Dimitrov knocking up Scott Pioli in Atlanta. Right now. That's what happens. Smooth segue. Hey, Zone Coverage listeners, did you know that there's a new place just around the corner serving flippin' good burgers? My Burger family owned, been obsessed over since 2004. Each location serves made-to-order burgers, no heat lamps. They ain't got none. Hand-pressed to perfection burgers are made fresher and taste better. They feature hand-dipped malts as well. I know that you're big into the malts.
Oh, big time, dude.
Yeah, me too. Locally baked buns, hot and fresh fries, onion rings, and sweet potato fries. 5 Twin Cities locations: Stadium, Village, Richfield, Calhoun, in the Skyway in Minneapolis, and also Mac, Groveland. That's my favorite one. Call us homebodies, but we like it local. Me too. There's no shame in ordering in seconds. MyBurgerUSA.com. Hit them up. My Burger. All right.
Go get your burgers, dude. All right, let's wrap this. Josh Rosen, obviously that's great. He could go number 2. He could go number 1. Roquan Smith, best linebacker we've seen in a while. He won't be waiting long. Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've heard rumors that the Packers could look at him at 14, but I when I watch him, great instincts.
Yeah.
He's like a classic Eric Kendricks type of where you go in the draft.
Oh, no way. The Packers are into a sort of a meh white linebacker. No way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Packers could go a lot of different ways. I mean, they could obviously go corner. They could definitely go edge rusher. They could get a linebacker. They could get wide receiver.
Yeah.
They could pick really. They could definitely change.
They're like the team when you do the mock. You're like, dude, do I give him Ridley this time, or do I give him Derwin this time, or do I give him Jair this time, or do I give him Geis this time? Yeah, they're tough. Chargers always goof me up too when I do the mock too, because I'm like, I don't know. What do you guys need?
You don't know.
Nothing really.
Yeah. Last 3 2-1s make sense. of Vita Vea, Denzel Ward, yep, and also Connor Williams.
Yeah, Connor Williams. I mean, he could be the first tackle taken.
He could be, yeah,
for sure. Him or McGlinchey.
Who is more?
I'm surprised McGlinchey's on here or not on here, and Colton Miller. So the 3 that surprised me the most: Taven Bryan, Colton Miller, and Leighton Vander Esch. Rashaan Evans might be the 4th one. Of course, Shaquem Griffin, though, like we all know he's not going to go in the first round.
Yeah. Who's more of an athletic freak, Colton Miller or Brian O'Neill?
Colton Miller.
Yeah.
Brian O'Neill's solid, good athlete, but Colton O'Miller is on another level. So that's all you're getting. Though. It's just pure potential on a lot of.
Colton Miller.
I'm not drafting that in the first round.
Is he the one name that would be the best WWE star?
100%. Well, that's that. No.
I feel like Taven Bryan would be good too.
Taven Bryan would be good.
Actually, hell, any big guy, just have him do pro. Isn't some wrestling nerds got him mentions about Babatunde where he's like NXT, NBD. He's in some pro wrestling minor.
I mean, it definitely seems like a guy that should be doing pro wrestling right now.
For sure.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Because he ain't playing NFL left tackle. Nobody.
Did he even get a spring league invited?
I don't know. He's the only former Viking who didn't. Pretty much. So with the wrestling, I peripherally. Close enough.
Yeah.
Followed it as a kid, know the highlights. Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, Stone Cold was awesome stuff. But, man, hardcore wrestling nerds, you're really defensive. We know it's fake.
We were talking about this before because Andre the Giant obviously was out the big documentary, and I was saying, you were saying, you can't say you're just a half fan, whatever.
I know
I'm not. I didn't follow it as a kid. I enjoyed the documentary. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm sure there's all things that we were passionate about as a kids and still enjoy as adult. That if someone constantly knocked them, wrestling is a pretty large pinata. I mean, it's fine. It's it's all fake. Everyone's on steroids. No one has health care because they're all independent contractors. Blah blah blah. But I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, Looney Tunes is real, right? And Marvin the Martian's up on Mars.
Yeah,
you got the little pellets, right? The pellets you drop in the water and it becomes a bird and all that.
I love that you can gamble on pro wrestling still.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's I want to know the cousin of the script writers for WWE because he's got to just be raking it in at mybookie.ag.
Big time.
It's 500 here, 500 there. No big deal. I know what happens. It's okay.
Now, most casinos, you can't gamble at that casino you work at, right? Isn't that kind of a general
Most
rule?
of them,
I'm just curious.
Yeah, if you work for DraftKings, you got to go to.
That's right. That's right.
Gonna play a little draft, or nah. So I'm gonna run some scenarios by you guys, then give me your take, a little or nah. So one that we've been talking about: 6 quarterbacks will go in the first round.
Nah. I mean, there are a lot of teams who need a quarterback right now, more so towards the top, and there are also some teams on the back end: the Patriots, the Steelers, the God, I'm blanking out.
Jags, Steelers, Saints maybe.
Saints are their team. So they could
Chargers
definitely could take a quarterback who falls. Lamar Jackson, Mason Rudolph type guy. Josh Allen could fall. But 6 is very, very ambitious.
Yeah, I see 5 going. I don't see 6. Mason Rudolph probably going to be that 6. I don't see Mason Rudolph going in the first round there.
What's Josh Allen's floor as far as pick wise?
What's the worst he could fall?
Could he fall past Arizona at 15?
I could see him go.
I don't think so.
I could see him going all the way to 31.
Like the guy I'm watching on film, yes,
Yeah.
I'm not drafting him in the top 30. But quarterback league, he's a big dude. He's got one of the best arms I've seen in a long time. Somebody's going to get enticed, and I don't think Miami at 10 or 11. And Arizona at 15, both of them are bad. I think that Josh Allen's gone by top 5.
You think he's a second-round talent? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, I don't think Josh Allen is a first-round talent.
It's funny because a lot of people you talk to, and I agree with you, you don't hear many people say, hey, he should go in the top 5.
Yeah.
But he's going to.
Teams are just irrational about the quarterback.
Yeah, and
look at Blake Bortles goes 3rd overall.
I think
Teddy
a
Carr.
yeah.
And
a 6'5" guy with a strong arm. Every old school guy is just like, I can fix whatever.
Right. Yeah, I totally see what
now,
you're getting at.
I do say that, you have to be confident as a coach, whatever guy you're going to get, that I can fix that stuff.
Yeah.
Give me the guy with the highest ceiling, and I'll do the rest.
Sure.
You got to be confident in what you're doing. So if
There's
you are
always John
confident,
Mansell, I've been saying on the back pocket.
right. Well, if you are confident, too, at what you're doing as a coach and your developmental skills, then you should have no problem taking that guy in the top 5, even though it's not very highly regarded, I guess. You can't get cute, though, at quarterback and try to trade down. I don't think anybody's going to take Josh Allen here in the next few picks, so I'll trade down 5 spot. Can't do it, dude.
When it comes to that's something that you learn is when it comes to quarterbacks in the first round, it's Luke's saying, go get your guy. Mm-hmm. That's why Browns at number 1, they can't afford to take Saquon, right. Because you leave it up to chance to not get the quarterback that you truly want. Let's say you covet Rosen. Let's say you covet Josh
Darnold
Allen,
or whatever,
or whoever it is. You leave one of those guys to go to the Giants or go to another team.
Right. You don't know who's going to trade up. You sit there and go, well, the team after me, they don't need a quarterback.
Exactly.
People are sitting there licking their chops going, if they don't take him, I'm trading up to 2.
The gamesmanship is fun, right, on draft day?
So
can't
fun.
take it through. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the gas mask bombs.
Best.
I want
Too soon.
I want the Browns to take Darnold at 1 or whoever their quarterback du jour is, and then 3rd round because they got the first pick of the 3rd round, don't they? Let me triple it. Actually, no, the Bills do, because they got that from Cleveland. Wherever the Browns pick in the 3rd round, just take another quarterback. Take Laletta or take Mike White.
They could definitely do the Washington. Washington did.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins and RG3, dude.
Exactly.
At 6 years, they have neither of them.
That's honestly that's what more teams should be doing. They should be if it's a year you need to invest in the quarterback position. Just take 2 guys high. Just
most important, if your team could be stacked like we saw, before we got Favre in 2009, stacked.
Yeah.
But if you do not have a quarterback, it does not matter. You're going to waste all that building. Take 2.
Do the quarterbacks benefit from being there together? Same coaching, kind of like the camaraderie of rookie.
If
they get drafted together and kind of go through camp, do you think that?
I always think I always love when teammates get drafted together. I absolutely love that. But 2 quarterbacks, obviously, they're not on the same team through college, so they probably don't know each other very well. But
Hard Knocks would be interesting with with a team
2
that
rookie
drafted
quarterbacks,
just kind of see that dynamic
for sure.
I always hate the excuse of if you take a quarterback in the first round, then you draft another one in the mid or late or whatever, or you have established starter. It's maybe not great, and then you draft a quarterback high. It's like, what's this going to do to his confidence? It's like, who cares? If he breaks from that, I don't want him as my quarterback.
Can you imagine Laquan Treadwell? He's like, I will not be on a team that drafts 2 quarterbacks in one round.
That's why I love what Captain tweeted out when they drafted Mac, and he was like, paraphrase, he's like, bring it, or no, try me.
I remember he said something.
And then he retracted. It's like, well, Mackenzie, welcome to the team. But it's like, no, I want that attitude. It's like, bring it on, MF, I got something for you. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm going to win.
It's kind of like what Andy said. It's if your quarterback has to worry about, I might lose my job. And like, no, you got to go each and every day and go
be aggressive.
Yeah, you have to. And that's why it's the teams who have the established starter, but not quite that top 10 guy. it's those kinds of teams that maybe teams need to consider bringing in more and more competition to compete. Because just because you have a starter, why can't you continue to upgrade that position? If there's a guy who's going to be better, higher ceiling, most important position on the field, why wouldn't I try to upgrade? It's the Case Keenum conundrum, He's winning us football games. Well, I want to continue to upgrade at that position.
Absolutely.
If I can.
And I think Surface fans, too, were like shocked by that. Some of them are really surprised. Like, wait a minute. I don't understand why you're trying to upgrade this guy who just went 13-3. And that's when you got to get into the digging. You watch the film. And obviously, people like us understand that there's a lot of stuff left on the table.
Yeah, the Vikings were not trying to get Raven, essentially.
Yes.
The Ravens should have moved on from Joe Flacco, and they chose not to.
How much does he make a year? Do we know?
Too much.
Well, now it's not like astronomical like it was when it first came out, because now he kind of set the market, but still a lot.
No one was talking about quarterback wins when Tiny went 11-5 in 2015. Or something.
Next up, a little yeah or nah. Dallas Goedert will not be the first tight end taken.
I still think he ends up being, but man, that would be fun to see somebody go Gesicki early.
Gesicki is definitely, I think, intriguing a lot of teams just because of that athletic ability is off the charts.
I'm worried that Gesicki is going to be Ebron. Like, I like his game, but I feel like his athletic skills hasn't exactly translated to production in college.
That's true. I can only go off of what I saw from the few games I watched, but then the Senior Bowl, and he dominated down in the red zone. I know I've told you, I watched him 3 straight fades in the red zone. Caught them all. One was over a linebacker, one over a corner, and one over a safety. And I know it's just 3 plays. I know it's random snaps, but when you see that stuff live and you see guys move, this guy could be special. He's definitely going to be one of the first 2 tight ends taken. I still think Goedert goes first.
But, I mean, if you look at it, you look at what the Vikings have done over the last several years, they definitely like those guys who stand out at the Senior Bowl.
They do.
Christian Ponder, Harrison Smith, guys who are making their name at the Senior Bowl. Maybe they had a decent production in college, but they took advantage of the opportunity that they were presented at the Senior Bowl, combine, all that stuff. And I don't know.
Apparently the Vikes are intrigued with the tight end.
They want a tight end.
And if you're sitting at 30 and you think you can get an interior O-lineman in the second round, you'll be fine.
You can.
Yeah.
And they want to make a splash. I think a cornerback with a big name like Josh Jackson or Mike Hughes is going to be sitting right in your face. A Taven Bryanish might be, but I think a tight end, maybe Goedert or Gesicki, that might be intriguing.
If they take Hayden Hurst, I'll jump off.
I will. I'm done. I'm done.
The Vikings do need to consider. I know Rick Spielman loves that 5th-year option as far as first round, but you have a lot of meat in that pick 25 to about 50 and whatnot, where you could get a stud online.
You can get the Nathan Shepherds.
Exactly.
You can find the Van Der Esch's.
Exactly.
You can find all those guys for sure. You want ammo.
To have potentially 3 second-round picks if you can trade down and get someone to bite who might want a quarterback at 30, that's something the Vikings have to consider.
This would be the perfect draft. Like I think the Colts maneuvered well because they still have.
Oh my god!
They still have the 6th overall pick. Then they have how many second round picks? They have 3.
They have 3.
Yeah.
49, and 2 of them are early. 36 and 37. They go back to back. In the top 10 in the second round, and then 49, which is in the middle of the second round.
With the talent spread in this draft, I think they're set up perfect.
And obviously, their 3rd round pick is in the top 3 as well. So a very early pick. So
I haven't tweeted this out yet.
Damage.
But should the Colts consider taking a quarterback relatively high?
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought about it.
Second, third round.
I don't know anything about Andrew Luck's shoulder like they do.
Yeah.
Like our staff knew about Teddy Bridgewater's knee versus the rest of the world. I don't know. Obviously, plan A and B and C is Andrew Luck. You figure it out. But yeah, I could definitely see them take a quarterback. I don't even know who their backup is. So
Jacoby Brisket.
Oh, the Brisket. Maybe they don't need a quarterback.
He actually played decent last year.
He was the best deep ball guy in 2017.
Belichick brings him back as Brady's replacement, and it's just fine.
but I'll tell you what, if they get to 36 and Mason Rudolph is still there, or hell, at top of the 3rd, Lillette or Mike White, or if Lamar Jackson just somehow falls. Like, they could maneuver if they wanted to.
I would be so angry at the league if Lamar Jackson fell to 36.
Wild.
Oh, no, even the back end of the first round. We're talking about facetiously about the Colts trading up. Maybe that could be the scenario. Trading up to 30.
Yeah. Could be.
But, I like Andrew Luck's shoulder. They had him play through it hurt, and then erect the shoulder, and then they're like, oh, crap. And then they're like, oh, he's not throwing footballs. Crap, the media's roasting us. Have him throw Nerf footballs. He's throwing footballs. Colts are still a mess.
Yeah, they are.
It's amazing they were that good that long because it seems like this is
Peyton.
right. Because the year they lost, they lost 15 games. Right?
no,
That's how they got luck.
Great quarterback play covers up a lot of ills. I mean, look at Rodgers. That roster is crap without him. And Peyton, besides Freeney and Bob Sanders on the defense, they didn't build a great defense.
What is
for
a great example of a team that's really well built, really smartly managed, but doesn't have a quarterback?
That doesn't have a quarterback.
The Vikings.
Right now.
I mean,
the Vikings before Cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Really, that's
the
it.
Jaguars now.
Jaguars.
Okay, I see that. Okay.
Chargers are well built after Phillip leaves. They'll need a quarterback. I mean, how long is Phillip going to play?
Because the Jaguars drafted nasty, and then also they made some great signings. I mean, Calais Campbell, Malik Jackson, and I mean they're just getting after it.
They're getting after it, man.
I think
they let Allen Robinson go.
I guess they finally have the guy, but I didn't really feel like the 49ers were really that far away.
Oh,
I think they had a lot of pieces in place, and they got their quarterback, which is why they paid him for what they did. But they have another good draft this season. I mean that division, NFC West, becomes
Niners. That's fun. Niners,
Dude,
LA. That's cool.
LA.
Yeah, it completely flipped, right?
Yeah.
It was Arizona and Seattle dominant, and those other two, San Fran and
St. Louis,
were horrible.
Yeah, they were bad.
And now it's flipped,
It's
man.
flipped again.
I mean, it's going to be fun to watch that division.
Next up, Yarna. Vikings pick at 30.
Well, Yinka just brought it up. My big thing, why I do think they pick at 30, two reasons. One, I think, again, a big name's going to be there that not a lot of people are talking about. And I don't know who that is, but somebody's going to fall in their lap. Two, I think they think they're all in. You go sign Kirk Cousins. Super Bowl needs to be, talked about now.
Yeah.
Do I want to sit back and try to, get cute? Maybe, and get more picks. Of course, that's nice. But if there's an impact player right now that's clearly going to be better than if I trade down to 45, I think they pull it. Last and final thing, most importantly, that fifth-year option. I think Rick just loves that fifth-year. And it's not just a fifth-year option. It's a fifth-year option at the 30th pick.
The 30th pick.
So the fifth-year option on a quarterback that gets picked third is astronomical, actually.
Yeah.
You get a tight end at 30 or a D tackle at 30. Oh my gosh, you can pay that dude nickels.
But that's a good that becomes a good question, because it's like, who is that? Who are the few players in the top 10, 15?
And Isaiah Wynn-ish.
Isaiah Wynn, to me, is probably one of the few guys I could legitimately say,
like, wow, he's there at 30.
Just
run,
sprint, take him,
sprint up there. Yeah,
but there are not a lot of guys. If you're, are you really considering maybe an offensive lineman?
Well,
maybe Mike Hughes is there.
Right, Isaiah Oliver. One of these or two of these cornerbacks are going to be there. But again, we're talking about it's at a position where this team's pretty well built. Do we need a cornerback? No, it'd be nice.
Yeah, at 30.
Do we need one, though?
No.
Right? Yeah, I mean, do we need a linebacker? No, we might next year, but do we need one? No. You know what I mean? So it depends on the position. Tight end seems to be the wild card, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Because Rudy, I mean, wow. Oh, my God. Has he played 2 straight years, without getting hurt? Knock on wood. But even if he does play another one, I mean, who's our backup?
So I love
David
that
Morgan, that's it.
We all think that he's older just because he's slow, except he's 28.
That's wild, dude.
Well, I mean, he has definitely had some injury histories and whatnot, but it would just be nice.
There's no depth, though. I mean, and I like Morgan.
There's not. But Morgan has a very specific role within the offense that I think he's going to continue to maximize. But again, just to have that 1-2 punch at receiving threat.
We got to talk about this, too. Just look at what DiFilippo did with those 3 tight ends. Trey Burton was outstanding.
Oh, my goodness.
I think DiFilippo is going to be chirping in the ear. Dude, you got Sheldon. Your defense is set.
Yeah.
Give me a move tight end like Gesicki or Goddard.
Exactly.
Maybe Mark Andrews. I wouldn't be happy with Andrews at 30, but, maybe they want to move tight end. And then all of a sudden, Rudy, Mike Gesicki, and David Morgan. Boy, that sounds like a lot more fun than just Rudy and Morgan.
Sure. Hey, David, you do all the blocking. All right. I got you, fam. I got you.
Yep.
Yeah or nah, only one running back will be in the first round.
I say nah, and I'm on board with taking 2-3 shots on day 2 and 3 all the time. It's just such a devalued position. But I've heard from a lot of people that Geis is going to go in the first round. I've heard that Ronald Jones is going to be a top 25 pick.
Ron Jones.
From people that I really respect. Ron Jones. Who? Ron Jones. So I think 3 could even go in the first round. I really do.
I say no. I think only. Well, I say yeah. I think only 1 does go.
Yeah.
And I think it really has to do with what Cleveland really wants to do. Do they want Saquon Barkley that much that they would pull the trigger at 4? Mm-hmm. If not, they can say, okay, I think Darius Geis or Ronald Jones will be there for our second round pick.
Sony Michel.
I think
Nick Chubb. They're great.
Because at the end of the day, if you pair, God, why does this guy keep
Chubb? Or Minka,
or if you Chubb next and
Myles Garrett.
God, that's a great defensive end tandem that you'll have for the next how many years?
That's how you build. For sure. I like that.
So
it'll be interesting how they screw it up.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
We're all going to be like, did Sashi die for this?
Right. Yeah, that's right, dude. Yep.
All right. Next up is yeah or nah. Offensive rookie of the year will be a first-round pick.
I say nah, because first round, yes, technically better talent, but that I also get rounds 2 through 7 of just Kareem Hunts and Duke Johnsons and random. I get much more players. I get much more volume. Skill position guys in the second and third round, running backs, tight ends, and receivers can come in and make an impact. Look at the 3 receivers that went in the first round last year. All went in the top 10. None of them did anything. John Ross, Corey Davis, and Mike Williams. Yeah, injuries, but I'm just saying. I don't think I would rather put my money on somebody in rounds 2 through 7 and look at how many more players I get.
Yeah, I don't know if our offensive rookie of the year is going to be in the first round, just because, let's say a guy like Saquon Barkley goes to Cleveland. Well, I understand he is going to be competing with, some other talent that is already in Cleveland.
Duke Johnson,
Crowell. But a guy like Darius Geis, who could fall to the second round. Maybe he goes into an
How about the position?
Yeah.
I mean, not the position. The position you're drafted into.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Say he falls into like Green Bay, for instance, or whatever the case is. I'm looking for that rookie who is going to fall in the situation where he's not going to really have to compete very much. It's like, this is our guy. We knew it was our guy. He's going to become that offensive weapon.
That and a coach who knows how to use them. You get Kareem Hunt under Andy Reid, and like, oh my God, match made in heaven. Done deal.
Next up is Anthony Miller will be the best wide receiver in this rookie class. Yeah.
I like Miller a lot. There's 5-6 guys, though. It's very convoluted. I mean, dude, you sit there and talk about Ridley and Sutton and DJ Moore I love and Anthony Miller and all these guys, and James Washington, and it's like, any one of these guys, I wouldn't be shocked if they were drafted ahead of Ridley or, like DJ Moore could be the first receiver taken. I don't know. You know what I mean? I just don't think there's a huge gap. So Miller I really like. Depends on where he goes and who his teammates in competition are. But I think James Washington, Sutton I really like. Ridley, all of them could be really good too.
All right. And last one, the first Vikings positions will be O-line, D-tackle, tight end. Not necessarily in that order.
I would say
yes. O-line, D-line, and tight end, sure. I mean,
I would say nah, because I think they are looking for. I really want them to get a nickel guy, because I would love to see in camp Mackenzie Alexander and Trey Waynes go out on the outside.
Thank you.
And just
please put him on the outside
and just watch those, because at the end of the day, now you get to make a decision. Who's the best outside guy between the two? And that's the guy that I'm going to pay come next year or the coming years.
Yeah, just to that point, which I love. I wanted to see him on the outside right away anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
To that point, Trey Wayne's 5th-year option coming up at $13 million.
Yeah.
Let's just say they bite the bullet and they're like, yeah, we're going to pay you your $13 million 5th-year option, still a better deal. But you get that extra year now. That's why I was saying that 5th-year option's huge at 30. You get that extra year to bring in Mac, them to compete, and then you figure it out.
Exactly.
And then you're not tied to Wayne's now. You got that freebie year there, quote unquote, $13 million, but freebie year there to figure that out before signing long term. Maybe Mac looks really good. You go, you know what? Trey Waynes, good 5 years.
Yeah, no, good 5 years.
I'm good though now. Yeah. I got Mac and then whatever cornerback you take this year.
I could see Trey going to Seattle or something like that after he left the Vikings.
Vikings West, no, he'll go to the Panthers. Because that's new Vikings.
Panthers to Seattle is going somewhere.
New Vikings West is extremely east.
Yep.
Also, how do we like the new draft hats?
I don't like
I
them.
don't like them at all. I felt like they
They're pretty
ran out of
weak, dude.
money or something.
Yeah, they're pretty weak.
We
I don't like
overspent
'em.
last year.
Yep.
We're skimping.
I like the Panthers one. 2 states, 1 team. It's like who?
So what? They all have some slogan on the brim.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, on the inside.
on the inside, but on the front of the Panthers one was 2 states, 1 team.
That's
It's
what
like
it says up front.
Just go keep pounding.
Yeah.
It's worked for you.
Don't get cute, man.
No.
You had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some did the traditional like "Go Pack Go"
Yeah.
was on there, and then other teams like I think tried a different slogan.
Do your job is very Patriots.
Yeah, it is
Very
very
Patriots.
Patriots. Defend the North, obviously. They could have gone Skull, but
The house
Skull-
that
Skull
AP
would've been better,
built.
though, right?
Oh, wait.
they did have the skull on the. If you look on the inside of the brim, it's right there. So just as you're about to put it on, you can see the skull.
Monsters to the Midway for Chicago is kind of cool.
You ever bought a draft hat? The only year I did was the year we
not.
drafted Moss, and it was I could pull it up, but it was
I used to buy.
it looks really cheesy now, but
I
back in
used-
the day it was sick.
because we're in Minnesota, and they were when they were at TCF Bank. I used to buy the sideline caps for outside and stuff,
So
I could
fun.
like match the team. And
Hell
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, they were. I like those.
Those were legit.
Dog pound.
Dog.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, you're looking at them. Do you like them?
I mean,
don't like 'em.
I'm not
They're
a huge
boring.
fan.
They're all
I
gray.
think it's
Yeah,
funny what they choose to put on their America's team, of course.
I don't like the
for-
gray. It's
Yeah,
fine. It's fine.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's fine.
One pride.
Big Blue, One Pride,
Mob
Mob
Squad.
Squad. I like the Mob Squad one.
That's funny.
Oh,
What
did
is
you hear
Mob
they?
Squad?
Did you hear they got rid of the color rush?
Do you remember Mod
Yeah.
Squad from
Bums me
what's
out.
that? Thank you for smoking. The Method of Death.
Oh, I know what
Squad?
you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's like a guy. I don't know. Rabbit hole. that
Too
we-
big of a tangent there.
As far as Color Rush, I tweeted this out the other day because I actually liked the Color Rush.
I love them.
Yeah.
I know not a lot of people did.
I love
It's
them.
team to
And-
team, right? I mean, certain ones did it really well.
Yeah, certain team, and maybe you just changed it, but I understand the mentality is to just add something different. And the issue, in my opinion, wasn't the Color Rush for Thursdays. It was just Thursday night football that people don't like.
sucked.
So to try to just
I wanted
bad
those
for
on
the
Sundays.
players.
so it's just like it's
Give
like
me those on Sundays.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
It's still a good thing that you can add to the NFL that brings something different. Just add it. To
What about
Sunday
Monday
nights.
or
Yes.
Monday Night
Or
Football?
Monday Night Football.
Sunday
think
night or Monday night?
I
They
think
should've
Monday
done
Night
it.
Football. Give people a reason to watch like Titans, Chiefs.
Well, that's I think the whole
Really?
concept. Tom,
Yeah.
that's the whole concept of why they do it on Thursdays. Though,
Sure.
give people a reason to watch Titans Chiefs on Thursday.
It was such like a confounding variable that you couldn't
Right.
justify that. Like, okay, it's not really bringing us any revenue.
Right.
But the issue is Thursday night games suck right now for the majority of it. I mean,
suck,
sometimes
dude.
you'll get the game or two that's just
the
like
Rams versus Sam 42 to
Yeah,
39.
overtime.
Sammy Watkins 3T.
Exactly.
Like, what?
Rise
Shut
up.
it off at halftime.
Yeah, right.
What is this?
Rise Up Red Sea is the Cardinals. What is that?
Nobody knows.
Oh my God! Sorry.
I like them though. Even like Tom, you were saying like some teams tried too hard. Dude,
Bill
Vikings were
Leave.
Bill Leave. That's the Bills one. That's
Yeah,
cheesy.
Bill Leave.
Even the Vikings were pretty simple, dude.
Yeah,
Just
it
all
was
purple.
simple,
But
and
I
then
loved them.
and then you have obviously have the gold numbers and stuff. I really liked them. Find a way to
Do you-
keep
can-
it, or
do you-
even just
So did they say
So
they
wait.
were eliminating them altogether? Or do you
on
think
Thursday.
there is a chance
on Thursday?
on Sunday night
they're
they
done. But I
Okay.
do think that they can.
I don't
stop.
know
hope
if I want
so,
that
man.
Sunday night. I like that as a Monday night idea.
Sure.
So the Heat did the sweet Miami Vice jersey. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
as their alternate-
That
do-
pink
Yeah.
one?
Could
That like 80s pink?
yes, so
So
great,
sick.
so great. Like I'm thinking about buying one.
I want
Dead
one.
serious.
Yeah, it is a crazy.
Could the
Yeah.
Dolphins do something similar?
They probably could.
Because it wouldn't be that off from their color scheme.
I honestly think the NFL can start. I mean, they obviously do the throwbacks and stuff, but the NFL
Right.
can start like tampering with their
They should
jerseys.
sprinkle it in
Yeah.
a little bit here or there.
I could see. Well, maybe not the Rams, but maybe an LA team does like
Yeah.
the like a Laker.
the Chargers, pay attention, pay attention
Right.
to us.
Well, Chargers powder blue is in everybody's top 5 all time. I
Yeah,
think, no
no,
matter who
so
you
good,
ask.
so good.
That one's good. I know the Titans just got new unis, which they seem okay. They don't look that much different, but yeah, I like the color rush. I may be in the minority on that, but I say keep them around.
Also, keep us around. List Hour 2 shows available on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, ZoneCoverage.com/machine. But for Luke and Yinka and Tom, I'm Andy, and Young Side, bro. List Hour 2.